Hello everyone, I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. A couple of things that I want to cover in today's video. One of them, of course, will be the summoning events coming this weekend. Plarium actually released the information one day earlier than usual, so we're going to cover that as well. And I do want to make you aware, Oktoberfest is coming. Guess what else is coming with it? A new fusion. So Plarium didn't actually announce the fusion today. Personally, I'm expecting it tomorrow. Basically, every year in September, mid-September, we are getting an Oktoberfest fusion. We had Molly Tankard, and I'll be honest, I do not remember what other champions we had. Maybe Nari the Lucky was one of them. I'm not really expecting a crazy champion, but hey, you never know what Plarium might do. So I'm just making you aware you might want to preserve your resources, shards, etc. And the reason why I think we're going to have a fusion, not just by following the pattern of the last few years or so. This time around, we only have 3x on Savage, and this is for 3 days, right? 72 hours. Whenever we have dungeon events, there are usually 2 or 3 of them for pretty much most of the dungeons. This time around, there isn't only one, so that tells me something. We're gonna have a fusion next week because you know what? If we don't have one event like this, they're usually enabling super raids. Now, I cannot guarantee you 100%, but I'm kind of like 99% that we will have the fusion starting next week. So just making you guys aware. Now, for the very first time in the game, since the addition of the new glorified Ancient Shard, we're gonna have a 2x on Primal Shard. So basically, they're gonna double the chances to get epics, legendaries, rares, but not mythical. And yes, you heard me, rares, because you're still gonna have like an insane 60% chance to get rare champions out of these ancient shards with a different color, basically. The red ancient shards. Now, I still cannot get over the idea, like, why are you basically increasing the chances for these when all that matters from these shards is to get mythical champions? These shards that don't give you any special legendaries, don't give you any special epics, so why are you not doubling the chances for mythical? That's the whole point of these shards. Nobody cares to get epics or rares or legendaries from here. If they want to do that, they're going to open sacreds, they're going to open ancients. And yes, don't get me wrong. If I'm going to get an extra legendary from here, I'm not going to complain. You know, that's not the point. The point is that we need that 0.5% chance to get double, man. That's what we need, basically, you know. But hey, it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like, I still can't get over this topic for whatever reason. And the mercy is just ridiculous too with it, like, it's gonna be crazy. But hey, enough talking about this. Let's quickly talk about the 10x champions that we're gonna have this week. So basically, Plarium said that they are launching a special 10x event to summon the following champions. I mean, what's special about a 10x? That's probably the joke of the century. But putting that on the side, Void Legendary is the best thing. You don't need to summon. You know what? Supreme KL as a Void Legendary, this 10x. Now, how I mentioned, this is a progression champion. It's nothing wrong with being a progression champion, but it just doesn't deserve the title of Void Legendary, in my opinion. A Void Legendary should be a champion that brings you utility on your account all the time. It doesn't matter at what level you are in the game, basically, you know. Early game, mid game, end game. That champion should give you value. Now, it doesn't mean that they aren't 1,000 different bad Void Legendaries in the game, because they are, you know, but they're just adding more. So the whole idea with him, at the moment, he's not doing much, right? But I have a feeling that the next content that comes to the game will need him. I think that content will need him because of this skill right here. Increases the accuracy, decreases the resistance. I think we're going to have some crazy bosses that will require an insane amount of accuracy. And that's where Supreme KL comes in play, guys. So I'm not sure if any of you guys will try to summon for Supreme KL, but let me know in the comments down below. So that's the Void Legendary. Then the next one that we have on is going to be no one else but Theodore the 7th. One of the best champions for dungeons, guys. Now, I wouldn't mind if Theodore, for example, would be a Void Legendary. You know what? Because he deserves it. Theodore is a champion that will help you through progression, through mid-game, through end-game. And he's still doing his job. Decrease speed AoE on the A1, poison sensitivity, increase speed AoE, Then the A3 increases the duration of poisons and HP burns, and then instantly activates the poisons and the HP burns on each enemy, and places a weaken for 2 turns on enemies not under poisons or HP burn. Then you have the passive. This champion's resistance is increased by 5 for each poison, and you have an accuracy aura for all battles. Now this kit right here would deserve to be a Void legendary champion because he does a lot that is meaningful, right? Like, is really gonna be beneficial in the game. So Theodore is a solid champion. I'm using him in the dragon, I'm using him in the spider, and quite in a few different areas as well. The next champion that we have on the list is gonna be no one else but Noct the Paralyzer. I actually don't have him. I managed to pull a 4 or 5 star soul for him. He's a pretty interesting champion. With the A1 lands decrease accuracy, with the A2 puts a sleep and poison debuff for 2 turns on all enemies. Places 2 additional poisons if the sleep debuff placed by the skill is removed or disappears after an enemy takes damage, which is pretty good. It does drop a lot of poisons. This is great for waves, for example. This one right here places an ally protection and a continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. The passive heals the champion by 3% of their max HP, and allies except this champion by 1% of this champion's max HP every time a poison debuff ticks on an enemy. Whenever an ally is attacked while under an ally protection buff, has a 40% chance of placing a sleep debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. Not sure where I saw that 50, guys, but you know what? It happens. And increases ally HP in dungeons by 35%. Pretty good base stats as well. The next champion that we have on the 10x is Xayvia. And even though she got power crept quite a bit, she's still a strong champion. You can still use her as a wave killer if you bring in enough poisons for her. The A1, a triple hitter with a chance to land poison on every single hit. The A2, AoE double hit with a chance to land poison. The A3 attacks all enemies. The enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. And it deals damage from all poisons on the target instantly. So this is a lot of damage when you detonate poisons. This skill is only working with the Balinor, and it applies a debuff spread effect, taking 4 random debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. I feel like this was designed in such a way where she lands poisons, Balinor lands defense down and weaken, and she's spreading everything basically, or something like that. Then you have an attack aura for all battles by 33%. So these are the legendaries that we have on the 10x, guys. When we are talking about shards and stuff, let me just emphasize that the Primal Shards will not be included in the 10x, okay? I feel like I forgot to mention that at the beginning. This is only for Ancient and Voids and for Sacreds. No Primal in the 10x. The Primal just has the 2x on it, and that's about it. I feel like with that, they're kind of like making people to open shards during the summon rush. So it's not a bad idea if you're looking to get some rewards, but the 10x is not that juicy all around unless you're looking for a Theodore, or a Xayvia if you don't have her. Then, moving over to the epics, guys, we're gonna have no one else but Eurogrim right here. He is actually a pretty solid champion. Poisons on the A1, cleanse and a heal on the A2 on a single ally, continuous heal and poisons on all enemies and all allies with the A3, and we have a speed aura for all battles. Pretty good epic champion, actually, definitely not a bad one. Then we have no one else but Scabrius, guys, of course. Fairly decent champion. He hits pretty good and has a chance to land the poison with the A1. The A2 has a chance to land the leech AoE. The A3 has a chance to land weaken and places an increased attack if the weaken debuff is placed. The passive damage increases by 21 attacking enemies under poison debuffs. Pretty interesting. Then, of course, we have the partner in crime, which is Fane. Fairly good epic champion for clan boss, guys, like 100%. With the A1 attacks an enemy 2 times, the A2 attacks an enemy, lands poisons and decrease attack, and the A3 has defense down and weaken. Pretty solid for bad eater, mainly for unkillable teams because she's pretty squishy as a champion, And we have the final epic champion, guys, and that's Priest Cillian Ornn right here. And he's good as well. He's definitely a good poisoner, doing a pretty good job. Attacks an enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 15% chance of placing a poison debuff for 2 turns. Then attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 75% chance of activating one of the 5% poison debuffs on the target. And we have the A3 AoE with a chance to plays 2 poisons and a poison sensitivity debuff for 2 turns, and of course he gets healed, and the passive, whenever a poison debuff is activated on an enemy, increases this champion's HP and defense by 5%, stacks up to 25. I gotta say it, it's been a while since we had a toxic 10x, guys, okay? It's definitely been quite a while, and seems like we got it again. Pretty decent champions. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. 10x events are not really increasing the chance for you to summon that specific champion. It's extremely low, so keep that in mind as well. That was all for this video. Much love, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.